It's 3 a.m. The rest of the world is asleep, but you are wide awake. And suddenly, it hits you. The surge, the clarity. You stare at the ceiling and you map it all out. You're done being average. You're done being cooked. Starting tomorrow, you're going to wake up at 5 a.m. You're going to drink 3 liters of water, learn a language, get ripped, and finally launch that side project. You feel amazing. You feel invincible. You finally have the motivation. Then you wake up at 11. You feel groggy. You open your phone and 2 hours vanish into the Doomscroll void. The Japanese lessons, the gym, they feel impossible. You don't do any of it. And the cycle repeats. You promise change at midnight, and you betray yourself by noon. Here is the truth. You aren't lazy. You aren't broken. You are just fighting a biological war you don't understand. See, at 3 a.m., your prefrontal cortex, the logical, disciplined parent of your brain, is exhausted. It's barely hanging on. That leaves the limbic system in charge, the emotional brain, the dreamer. The limbic system loves the idea of change because at 3 a.m., it doesn't actually have to do anything. It's getting the dopamine hit of success without the pain of the work. Psychologists call this temporal discounting. We value immediate rewards way more than future ones. At night, the future you who has to run 5 miles is a stranger. You don't care about their pain. But when morning comes, you become that stranger. And suddenly the motivation is gone because the pain is real. Motivation is a scam. It's a feeling. And feelings fade. So, if we can't trust motivation, what do we trust? We need a system that works even when you feel terrible. Especially when you feel terrible. Here's the 3-step exit strategy from the 3 a.m. loop. Step 1 is the 2-minute rule. Your brain is terrified of big tasks. Go to the gym sounds like a threat. So, stop planning to go to the gym. Plan to put on your shoes. That's it. If you can't do it in 2 minutes, don't put it on your list. You are strictly forbidden from relying on willpower. You are just tricking your brain into starting. Once you start, the friction vanishes, but you have to make the entry point so easy it would be embarrassing not to do it. Step 2 is friction engineering. We like to think we make choices, but usually we just take the path of least resistance. If your phone is on your nightstand, you will scroll. That's not a character flaw, that's design. You need to invert the slope. Make the bad habits painfully hard to access. Unplug the TV, hide the controller, delete the app. Conversely, make the good habits invisible. Leave your running clothes in the middle of the floor so you trip over them. Design your environment so that doing the right thing is the lazy option. Step 3 is the deepest layer, the identity shift. Stop saying, "I want to quit smoking." That implies you are a smoker making a sacrifice. Start saying, "I am not a smoker. I am a runner. I am a writer." True behavior change is identity change. You don't run because you're motivated. You run because that is who you are. It's not something you do. It's simply evidence of your character. When you vote for this new identity every day with small actions, the 3 a.m. hype becomes irrelevant. This is what the heaven state actually looks like. It's not fireworks. It's not a movie montage. It's a Tuesday afternoon. It's boring. You're just doing the work. But for the first time in years, you feel quiet. You aren't frantic. You don't need the 3 a.m. manic energy because you have something better. You have evidence. You trust yourself again. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about loving yourself enough to give yourself a future. Stop waiting for the lightning to strike. Just put on your shoes.